So in today we're going to review Apache NetBeans version 26 that came out on May 19, 2025. So I recently actually updated to NetBeans 26, and I'm going to show you why I do use it for the majority of my programming requirements or needs. Before we begin, I want to let you know that I do a live stream every day. This month, there are going to be about 2 or 3 days where I will not be able to do a live stream. But I'll have a video out for you guys on that day. Hope you like it. Okay, and also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. So let's continue. So the Apache NetBeans has a history. I believe it was created by Sun, and then when Sun was bought by Oracle, they then gave it to the Apache Foundation, as you can see here, the Apache Foundation, and then the official name is now called Apache NetBeans. So basically, it used to be an IDE that was for Java, so it was competing with other popular IDEs in the past. And then, for example, Eclipse for Java. Now, as you can see on my system, actually, so I have an article here. I should actually go through the article quickly first. So it supports Apache 26. That's the one we're going to review today. It supports JDK 1721 and the latest one, which is 24. And then the IDE is open source. It's licensed by the Apache, as I said, the Apache Foundation. And it has extended support for language, obviously, like Java, obviously, because it's created in Java, Java FX, C, C++, PHP, JavaScript, HTML5, and more. So, for example, I created a tutorial, I think earlier this year, where I actually showed you how you can actually extend it by installing the Python language support. So for this version 26, what's new? They have smart and contextual coding. It has a debug and visual tools. I think this always had this, and database and static analysis. So all this has been improved. Remote and profiling support, full remote C development support. Okay, so if you don't know what an IDE is, I do have a glossary here. An IDE is essentially an integrated development environment that combines various tools needed for software development. For example, one of those tools, which I actually use quite a bit, is like Git integration. So you can submit, clone, do those type of things. One thing I do like about NetBeans, I have not seen another IDE which has this type of information, is you can do like a cherry pick. I think that I will do that a future tutorial for that. A lot of people don't know about the Git cherry pick. Okay, and then of course, if you know what open source is, open source means that it's freely available for possible modification and redistribution. And SCM, I just explained Git, for example, it's a source code management used to track modification to the source code repository. So this is my system here. It's an older system. It's an Intel i7 2600. It has 16 gigs of DDR3 RAM. I'm running Fedora 42 workstation. That means it has GNOME 48. Okay, so I'm going to create a test system because this test was what I've been using for the past about 16 years or so. So, for example, I usually I would get very large files. They would have, for example, millions of records. So the file would usually be over a gig, so be million records. So what I would need to do is I would need to open up that file. Obviously, I'm gonna spoiler alert. NetBeans is not able to handle files. At least it wasn't in the past. But I'm saying that what I'm trying to do is with this test is to see if there could be one editor or one IDE that makes me replace all my other IDEs or all my other text editors, because I have several editors. They're pretty good for one thing or another. So regex, this basically means that uh, you can find and replace or find things using regex instead of just simple find and replace. So most of the text editors and IDE, they do this very, very well. And then the syntax file, for example, PHP file, but not just with PHP, it's going to contain HTML, CSS, and JavaScript embedded, or the PHP itself is embedded in all of them. So this also works pretty well. This used to be a problem with NetBeans in the past. It works very well. And then this one, the smiley face or a JPEG file. This one is not necessary, but it's something. The reason I put this here is because sometimes when you drag an image or rich media file into the workspace or into the folder, some IDs or text editors would fail. I don't need this to be open in the text editor. I think that's the most new text editors these days. You can just drag it and it will display here. I don't really need it. I just need to drag this to the project folder. Okay, and obviously on my Linux system, I have the Java version is as you can see is 2107, and as you can see as well, it says 2107. So I'm not cheating or lying. And the PHP version I do have is 8.4.8. You guys have seen that in previous tutorials. Python version I do have. Oh, I don't know. I put OpenJDK. Yeah. Oh, OpenJDK. Okay, that's the problem with copy pasting. So I'll remove that and fix it. So it's 3.13.3. And NetBeans version is 26. So here's my testing criteria. Basically, for the score, if a feature has all the parts, it's 2 parts, it will get the full score. If it will get a 0 if it doesn't include it's completely missing that feature. And I said it will get a partial score if the feature is there, maybe just partially works, or it's not all there. So the reason I did that is that will eliminate any bias, and this has been used for, I said 3 years. Oh, this is actually wrong. This has been used for several years now. I think it's like more than 13 years. Okay, that's the problem with copy pasting. So I'll fix that as well. All right. So with that out of the way, of course you can get NetBeans from, if we go here, I believe it's netbeans.org. Netbeans.org. It should redirect, yeah, it redirects to the Apache website. They see NetBeans at apache.org, and you can see here, you can simply go to click download, because Oracle also donated netbeans.org to them. So you can see here, you can download the binaries, and you can also get the SHA-512 or the PGP, and that way you can make sure that the file hasn't been compromised. The integrity is still correct. And then there's others, for example, there's installers and packages. It's friends of Apache NetBeans, and you can, I'm on Linux, you can also get the snap package. And then here are some of the issues. You can see here, NetBeans 23 Plus no longer supports string templates. On Windows, you may encounter the following JDK issue. And if you're Windows ARM, it's not fully supported yet. So there we go. Now, with that out of the way, let's get started here. Okay, so as you saw, I went to the About, and you see the catch folder, all this stuff here, the Linux version, etc. So let's do a quick overview here before we get started on our tests. You obviously have the menu here. It tells you, the menu bar also tells you what version it is. You have the file menu. Obviously, you can open a new project. You can close a project. You can also drag and drop projects. We'll do that later. And you can see, oh, I didn't know there's a page setup. I just discovered this. I didn't know there's a page setup. Okay, nope. Oh, that's for printing. Okay, I don't have a printer set up yet. Okay, and then the edit, as you can see, you have the usual undo, redo, cut, copy, paste from history, paste as lines, find and replace. So, and then I like this other feature. You see it says find in project. So if you have multiple projects open, you can actually find something inside the project. This is actually a pretty good feature, and also replace in the projects. In the view, you can view the ID log, that you can change which toolbars show up, the editors. You can do full screen. You can also, the diff sidebar, you can do a whole bunch of stuff here. That's in the view. In the navigate, you can go to Spring Bean. There's also the jump to file. Obviously, there's no file open, so more will happen once. Go to line, of course, bookmark, selecting projects, select files. Obviously, most of this is grayed out because there's no file open yet, but when you open a file, it will, they'll be there. And in the source, you can format it, and then you can, there are some move code up, element down, and etc. You can scan for external changes. I don't like this feature because, for example, you have a very large project, especially with third-party projects, scanning is going to take a very long time, so I usually disable this. And refactor, this is, for example, if you're running code and you want to rename a file, so then you rename it everywhere. That's what refactor means. You can move, copy, safely delete, inspect, and transform. In the run, this one I do use a lot, not especially the menu, because I use shortcut keys. So you can see that you can run a project, you can test the project, you can view the project, and so don't think that, for example, if you want to run one PHP file, you need to actually have a project. You can just run the file by itself. And the shortcut I always use is actually shift, this one here, see? Shift F6, that's the one I use, run file. You can run a file independently. And then in the debug, you have the debug menu, you have the attach debugger, stack, a new breakpoint, and new watch. We see this when we actually open up some code. Most of them are grayed out right now. And the good thing about this one is, I like this is because one of the reasons I actually switched to NetBeans from Eclipse was because with Apache, for example, I run PHP. The debugger is already set up. I don't need to touch anything. I don't have to set up myself or anything. It's already set up for you. And then you can do a profile here in the profile menu, and then the team. The team, you see there's Git up here. You can clone, initialize. There's a whole bunch of other stuff you can see you'll be able to do. You can also use macro and subversion, and you can look at the history, find tasks. There's actually way more than this. Once we have a file or a Git repository open, and then the tools, you can see you can do internationalization, Java platforms. There's plugins. Actually, let's go with plugins quickly. See under plugins, it's available plugins. For example, you search here, Python might show up here as an example, and you can then, you can install it. You can also download some yourself and add them here, and then you see these are the ones I installed. I don't have Python right now, but for example, if I wanted Python, I'll just search for Python here, Python, and press. Wondering why it's not showing up here. Oh, it didn't find it, but I know, I'm pretty sure I installed it from here. Check for newest. Oh, there's no Python. I'm pretty sure that's how I installed. I don't think I had to, I can't remember. I have to look at that. Yeah, but you see there's like Perl. Yeah, there's other languages you can add as well. Okay. And then under tools, there's also options. So I want to show you this to you. Oh, it'll open up in a pop-up in a different window. So you can see here, you can modify some of this, for example, in the editor or the browser. And in general, you can change the default browser here if you want. In the editor, you see there's code templates, hints, highlighting, and language servers. So you can add, for example, a custom language here. There's macros, there's a code completion, there's a spell checker. You can see the spell checker. You can use it in GSP, HTML, JSP, Java doc comments, and PHP. And there's more as well. You can see XHTML, etc., etc. And the languages for the spell check, the dictionary is English, English US, and English GB. There's no, even though my default locale is English Canada, you see there's no dictionary for that. I can find it and add it there, but I'm pretty much fine, because usually when you're coding, the English will most likely be US, so that's fine. So we'll go to font and colors. You can see I left this as default. Actually, the profile is flat, laugh, dark, but there's others, and you can also go download some others. You can see here there's No Way Today, City Lights, NetBeans 5.5. I don't know why you want to use that one, but there you go. And then you see you can change it for a specific language or a different language, and it will give you a preview what it looks like. So I like this one. I left that on. The key map, obviously, if you have specific key maps, you can do that as well. And for Java, I don't touch this, but if you wanna, you see, there's the GUI builder, Gradle. You see, this is what I said. This one thing I like about NetBeans. All this stuff comes in. You don't have to fool around anything else. HTML5 JS. For example, if you're using the Bower, if you're using other CSS preprocessors, Grunt, GUP. I've actually used, believe it or not, I've actually used all of these ones. And there's mobile platforms. For example, if you want to do Android the path for the Android, I can actually search for this. I think it's in my path, so it should pick it up automatically. And Node.js as well. You see it found Node.js because I installed that on my system, and you see it also found the npm path. I never actually had to do this. It found it automatically. That's why I say that's one of the good things about NetBeans. We go to PHP. You see, again, it found PHP, the path, and it's able to run and debugging. I see it set up the NetBeans X debug. I didn't have to do anything. Annotations, code analysis, Jenkins, and more. C++. I don't think I have a... Give me a second. I think I have to cough. Okay, we're back. I don't know why my mic will not unmute unless I use the software. All right, so it went to the other monitor for some reason. So C++, there's the CCLS configuration. I don't think I have CLang installed, so if you did, it will pick it up automatically, and you see you can also pick the preferred server. I don't have this developer tools installed yet. And then for the team, there's tasks, action, for example, to do all this is actually pretty handy as well. You can see there's some already set up for specific files like HTML, HTTP, Ruby, PHP files, JavaFX, Ruby, and way more. You see CC, I think that's CCP, CSS, etc. And CXX, that's for C++. In appearance, the document tabs, the windows, the look and feel. And again, remember I chose flat laugh dark, and then this one here, flat laugh, which is default, so you can tweak that if you want. And then there's miscellaneous, the diff, the files, Groovy, janitor, output, and terminal. So there we go. So and then here is where you can select the delimiters if you want for the terminal. And what's the other thing I wanted to show you? Oh, here, under files. So these files are going to be ignored by the IDE. If you notice, I never even took a look at this. So for example, it's going to ignore this type of files, the CSV, CCS, viewer, because I said and git. So this was automatic. I didn't even have to touch this. I used to have my own, but I leave this as default. So for example, if you have some libraries, you add them here as well, because you don't want it to be scanning the library. Otherwise, your project would take way too long. So you can add them here. There we go. So I'll cancel this. Now let's actually get started with our review for the test score. So the theme can be native for the editor in terms of background, and the dark theme does not need tweaks for the source code management. So obviously NetBeans come with the dark and light themes, otherwise can be created or downloaded. The score for them was 1 point. I showed you how to replace the theme. So there we go. Dragging and dropping. Okay, here we go. Dragging and dropping. So here we go. So I'm gonna grab this regex file. Can I drag it into here? Yes, I can. You see how easy that was? No problem. Now, the problem is I'm going to grab this PHP file. Let's say I want to grab it in, I want to paste it in a specific location. For example, you see here, there's only one file now. Let me actually make this window a little bit smaller. So this is where your projects, we'll come back to this later. And you see the files and services. So there's also services. For example, if you have databases, you can connect them. I've actually tested this in a very old version. Web services, servers, Maven, repositories, cloud, Jenkins, builders, Docker, and Selenium driver, JS test server, task repositories, and internal web server stopped. Okay, so make this a little bit smaller. So let's say I want to drag another file, but I want that file in a specific position. For example, let's say I want it right here. I want it first. So it's still not able to do that. For example, I'm going to grab this PHP file, and I don't want to drag it here. You see, after I want to drag it right here in the beginning. You see that it has a minus because it's not allowing me to. You see, when I go here, it's not allowing me to. So I can't drag it into a specific position. Now, before you say, oh, you had it in the wrong place. Okay, fair enough. Let's say I open this file up. Okay, so let's say I wanted to grab it here in between the regex.txt and in between the XML file. So I grab my PHP file, and you see it's plus 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 plus. So I want to drag it right here. You see, it doesn't. It always goes. It appends it to the other side. So that's why I gave it a score of 0.5, because I can't specify the position I want it to be. Okay, next, opening a very large text file. So remember, this file is 1 gig, and I can prove it. For example, you see here, it will tell where my mouse is. It will tell us exactly where it is. So for example, this file here is 1 gig. So if I drag it and paste it here, you see what happens? It says, hey, the file 1 gig.txt seems to be very large because it's exactly 1 gig. To safely opening a file could cause out of memory. You see my memory right now is about half a gig, which would make the IDE. Would you want to open it? Yes, of course. So I can't remember if it actually opened it. Let's see what happened here. An out of memory was shown and it was not possible to edit the large file. So that's why it got a 0.5. So I think what happened is, if you look at the memory is not even moving, so it's clearly not opening the file. So I'm just going to close that file. Oh, I can't even close that file. Okay, I closed the file, and you see the memory automatically dropped. Look at that. It's now using 4 gigs of RAM. It won't open the file. I said I tried that before. So that's why I got it at 0.5. So because it didn't crash. Okay. So obviously, number 4, multiple documents can be opened in multiple tabs. So you can tear off the tabs. For example, if I want to get this this one, I can see it gives you. I can, for example, do a split. I can put it down here, split it here. So so that is actually a nice feature. So that's why it got a 1.0. Obviously, multiple editors can be opened as new tabs with the new drag options. Yes, you can do that as well, as you have just seen. So if you want another demonstration, I'm going to do that for you. Let me see. I'm going to open up actually this Java file, and multiple editors can be opened as new tabs with drag options. Yes. So for you just saw that I was able to drag it anywhere I want. So for example, if I take this Java file, see, I can put it here. It's going to go here because it remembers the last one where you are, or I can put it up here. So it's going to come here because of the appending thing. So obviously, and I can edit it here. You see, the cursor there. So that means I can edit it. All right. So that's why that got a 1. Creating non-project files is possible by dragging the folder. So here we go. Here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I think there's a folder I have. One of them which has Git or something. I want to open that up so I can show you a few things. Okay, so this one has no Git. So this one, secure custom fields. This one has a Git folder in it. So so what you can do is, you can simply just drag this, I believe, into files. You should be able to drag it. So if I just drag it and put it here, oops, maybe I have to drag it into the. I know you can do this. What's going on? I know you can do, or maybe it has to be in the projects. Oh yeah, it has to be in the projects. That was the wrong one. So it opened up in projects. I was sorry, I apologize. I knew it was projects. So you see the project, it detected that it's a PHP because it's a WordPress plugin, and as you can see, it has the source files, but you don't want to open up from there. You have to go to files. Okay, I think I was just impatient. Yeah, so as you can see, there's GitHub because it's a GitHub one. And as you can see, you can open up any of these files. So, and you see there's a git ignore, and you see it to be color coded. Actually, not color coded. You can see the git ignore as an example, and you see this one. It tells you that means it's already. I don't have to add a, and it has a. You see, it created an NB project. I think I did this before, so maybe this is a bad example, but you get my point. All right. So what I'm saying is that if I open up a file, actually, you know what? Let's open up this file. This Git one, so you can look at the history, and you can see here it tells us that Brandon on February 2025 Brandon added the basic PHP unit, and then Carlo B he updated the Webpack dependencies on October 25. So I didn't do this. This came from the history of Git. So it's already there. And what you can also do is now, if I actually go to team, oh, okay, it's not there. But if I actually go to, oh, I think I have to click on I have to open the file first. Let me copy the file. So here, if we go to team, there, yeah. So now you see, because this is being tracked by Git, if you go to team, you can see there's way more changes. See, show changes. You can do a diff to head, diff to track, all this stuff. You can commit, check out, ignore, exclude patches. You can choose the branch, the remote. You can clone, pull, push, the repository, shelf changes. There's way more stuff you can do as well. So this is not a Git tutorial. I just want to show you that to you. Okay, so it got a 1.0. Soft wrap, obviously I do have soft wrap. You can actually see here, you see on line 5 here. This is actually one word, initial scale equals 1.0. So there isn't a, so if you don't understand the difference between hard wrap and soft wrap, this is a soft wrap. Soft wrap means that it will break the word, and for example, if I make this a little bit wider, you'll see what will happen. You see, that's soft wrap. A hard wrap will basically just cut it, and it will be hard. That's why it's called hard wrap, meaning that it will either you have to break it right here in order to see it, which is a nuisance. I don't know why you would do that. I prefer soft wrap. So 7, you got a 1.0. Number 8, spell check. As you can see the word PHP here, so you know the spell check is working. Now the only problem I don't like about this is that the spell check, even here, see, this one is spelled wrong. Word bless, or word bless, whatever, WordPress, right? So for example, if I put a space here, you see, it's no longer showing that wavy line. So spell check does work. So I get it at 1.0. So it's not the best spell check because you have to press Control Enter, but it doesn't give you suggestions, but it does work. Word count is not available for NetBeans. Selection word count is not available, so you get a 0, 0. So example down here, it doesn't tell me how many words are here. Even if I select a word, for example, this one here, logs, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it doesn't tell me the length. It's literally 5 characters. There's nowhere where it tells me that, hey, this guy is 5 characters. Am I wrong maybe? No, you see now it's saying 6. This is just the column I'm on. It doesn't tell me how for example, if I select this two, it doesn't tell me like how many words I have. So the count, that's why it's 0. Go to line, for example, I am on line 7 here. Let's say I want to go to line 33. So the shortcut is Control G, and then I want to say it's 33 here, and now you see it jumped to line 33. You can also, I don't know if it's probably somewhere here as well. Is it navigate? Yeah, navigate. So go to File, Control. If you guys see Control G, oh here we go. Go to line, Control G. So you can also do it from the menu, navigate menu. All right, so that got our perfect 1.0. Indentation, of course this works. You can actually see some of this indentation is working. Actually, if we go to, let's go to the Java file. Yeah, you can see here. For example, if I type something in here, let's say I said private Benjamin. I guess that would be, is it string? Yeah, string. I haven't done Java in a while. You can see the indentation was, it remembers the previous indentation. So indentation obviously does work. Now I don't want to add anything here. So just undo. So that's a perfect 1.0. The children are automatically indented. Fonts can be dynamically scaled. You guys have seen this before. I just hold down the Alt key and you see that's dynamic scale. I like that. I'm not sure how to do that from the menu up here. The there might be a shortcut or something. I have no idea how to do it from the menu, but I just use shortcut keys for that. I'm sure there's a way you can find it somewhere. I do not, because usually I prefer just quick dynamic scale. All right. So also that gets a perfect 1.0. Find and replace regular expressions. So here's our regular expressions here. Okay, so as you can see, there's a word here that keeps on, for example, you see a pulsar edit. So we're going to, actually this should have been, let me see if I can replace this. Pulsar edit. This should have been NetBeans. I guess I didn't have time to look at it. So so there's so we can actually, for example, we can do a regular expression. Let me see if I have an example for the regular expression. So basically, Control F. Okay, and then you can see options here. You can toggle match case, whole word. You see regular expression. So if I click regular expression, it's gonna go by regular expression. So regular expression, I can say pulse. I don't have to type the entire word. I can put a dot. Dot means any word after that, but I don't want a word. So what I want is, I want it to grab everything until the letter T. I think it's dot. You see the problem with this is, but you get the point. So I should have said until the first T. So you see it went until the end of the line, and find, for example, it should have ended actually here with this one. But but basically, this is just a simple way to show you, you know, the first T. So I think I can do. I'm a little groggy today. So 1. Okay, so I wanted to grab the first T, but you get my point. So that's a regular expression. So I don't have to type. I don't have to type this everything. So that's an example of how to you know, grab the first letter that whatever the ending letter in the line. You see it went up to the end. So so regular expressions do work. Obviously, they also work for the replace. So if you want to do you can actually go here to edit, and you see this find and replace. So if I click replace, and you can do the same thing. You can turn on the regular expressions and do that as well. And you can also find in project. So this is a good one here. We can find something in a project. I'll show you how to do that. Not find as in replace, but let's say I'm looking for a specific file. Let me see a file here. Let's say there's a file I'm looking for here. Let's say I'm looking for a file that starts with PHP Bootstrap. I don't know where it is, but I know it's Bootstrap. So what I can do is I can go to I think it's under edit. Yeah, find in projects. Actually, no, I don't have to find in projects. All I have to do is click this guy, right click, and click on find. Control F, shortcut. You see here, the scope is going to be only this project. So let's say I'm looking for, and you can see I can also do a literal, or I can do a regular expression. So let's say I'm looking for Bootstrap. You see it's, and I click find. You see it found. You see it found it, and it tells me where it found it. You see it found it here. So I can just click on this and go to the file, and it also found it inside the file on a specific line, line 3. So for example, if I click this, it will automatically go see it found the word Bootstrap. So that's how you can do a find in projects. Obviously, you can also do find and replace in projects as well. So that got a perfect 1.0. Multiple language support. So let's go and check our PHP file. So you can close this, or you can minimize. I'll just minimize this. So if we look at our PHP, oops, no, this, not you. If you look at our PHP file, you notice this is a PHP file, but it starts with HTML. And we have JavaScript here. And then we finally have the PHP here. Now, Ooh, I don't know why this got pasted here. This is actually wrong. But yeah, I don't know. So, oh, I think maybe I did this just to show you that the syntax error. See, that's clearly a syntax error and tells us that, and etc. and etc. So I think this is supposed to actually be for JavaScript. I don't know why it came up there. Yeah, so it's found the syntax error. And then here with PHP, with HTML, you see I embedded PHP in it, so it does work. So that's what else. So that got a perfect score. Okay, code forwarding does work as well. So in that one, I'm going to use Java. So for example, you see this is a class. So I should be able to, you see this one here, there's a little marker. You see it's minus. The minus means that it's open. So if I click it, I can close it. You see what happened? It closed those 4 lines from the block. Actually, let me make this a little, so there we go. This will be easier for you guys to, you see that? I can expand and collapse and open it. It also works with PHP as well. And you can also do, for example, even HTML. You see this form here? It's also there. I can also do the same thing. It works with all the languages. So that got also a perfect score. Guess another thing it has? It has rectangular select. So I'm going to demonstrate a rectangular select. I'll demonstrate it using this regex file. So if you look closely up here in the menu, there's an option to actually enable it. I don't know. I think it's also in the edit. There's a view. Okay. There's a way to edit it as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click this. Yeah, because I don't want all this stuff. I'm going. Hopefully I can see more. Huh? It doesn't show up. So that's another more distraction-free editing. So with this now, let me do some dynamic zoom so you guys can see. I don't want to do too much because I want to show you. Yeah, right here. You see here, this one right here. See, it says toggle rectangular selection. The shortcut is Control-Shift-R on my Linux system. So what I can do is, for example, I can go right here. Did I enable it? So let me enable it. I can just click it to enable it, and guess what? Ta-da! That's rectangular selection right there. So that's a rectangular selection. So I can replace this, for example, if I just type Edward. You see that? That's a rectangular selection, which I can undo as well. So this is very handy sometimes when you need to, maybe add in the beginning, for example, HTML, you want to put HTML, you want to surround it by HTML tags. It's extremely useful. So for example, one thing I can do is, I wonder if this will work too. Yeah, there we go. See, I've selected, oops, it's enabled. Yeah, it's enabled. Then you can obviously delete that or do something else with it as well, whatever you desire. So we got a perfect 1.0. The multiple selection works using the shortcut Control-Shift right button or Command-Shift left mouse also no marks. But however, the search, you cannot search them. So you might say, what the hell are you talking about? So I'll give you an example. So I'm going to type Control-Shift left mouse button. So Control-Shift and a click. I forgot which one is a click. So that's a click. So with that, you see, there's a cursor here and there's a cursor here. So for example, I can start typing. I can say, you see that? So that's a multiple multiple selection or multiple selection. So I can select the cursor, or I guess I should call it multiple cursor. So that does work, but the problem is I can't search. Oh, I guess that is multiple cursor. Okay, so let me explain a different way. So let's say I select this word from. Actually, let me Control-Shift left mouse button. Oops. Go on. Control-Shift left mouse button, and then I do this one as well. And this one. I did it before. I can't remember. Yeah, but I wasn't able to Control-Shift left mouse button. Yeah, but so for example, when you have that on, you're not able to do a search. So I'm not going to show you it didn't work. But it got a 0.5. Now distraction free, as you can see, you can do distraction free. You can even go more distraction free if I double click on this. If I can also go to show only editor, and you see it's even more distraction free. Okay, then the file manager, you can obviously, so let's go back to where we were. Just double click on this. So this is the file manager. I'm not going to use this file manager. Yeah, I might as well. So for example, I can just right click here in the files. You see, I can create a new folder. I can create a new PHP file. And I can create other files too. For example, if I'm crazy enough, I can say, you know what, I want other. So I can create something that is not even part of a PHP. It's detecting PHP for some reason, but I was hoping to create like a Java file or something like that. You're able to do that if you want to do that. You know what? I didn't actually do it, so let me create a folder. I'll create a folder and I'll call it test. You see, it created the test folder, and inside the test folder, I can create other things like a PHP file. For example, let's create a PHP file. I'll call finish. You see, it created this. You see, and then because it's being Git is being used, it's highlighted. So I can simply, and then you see, there's also this little thing tells you that it's new. This hasn't been added to our Git. So I don't need it, so I'm going to just right click on it. Come on, right click and delete. So it's gone, and you see this NB project, NetBeans adds this, so this is also not being tracked. You usually don't want to track that as well. Okay, so that's 1.0, the file manager. So the terminal, there's a terminal integrated as well. So let me show you the terminal. The terminal, you can enable it by going to, you go to Tools, and then you see Open in Terminal, and you can also enable it by default as well. Under, which one was it here? This is a weird thing. It's actually not under plugins or options. It's, yeah, you have to click here, Open in Terminal, and then it will show up. So for I believe it's also here somewhere. Usually I have I do this on a 4K monitor. This one is really tiny, so I usually don't know where things are. Obviously you can toggle line numbers as well. So I think that's the one there. Tools. Open in terminal. So this is the terminal here. So when you have the terminal, it has a few options. I thought there was something there. Oh yeah, here's the terminal. So you see the terminal has, you can obviously have the terminal. You can create a new local terminal. You can even open a remote terminal. I actually used this before, remote terminal to do some things. And then you can have terminal options. Let's open up the terminal options. And here, oh yeah, I was right. It's under the options. You have to go to miscellaneous and terminal. And then you can change the font size here, and you can change the colors and all that as well. As you can see the preview here. So I don't need that. So this is the terminal. And there's also a feature where you can have it follow the terminal. So meaning that if I open up another file in a different project, it will be able to follow the terminal as well. So that's also a pretty nice feature. Or another, for example, even this project, there's an option where, for example, if I go to this docs folder, if any file I've opened up folder, it will follow me as well. You can also enable that feature if you wish. Okay, now with that out of the way, NetBeans scored a 77.5% or 7.75 out of 10%. As you saw, it did get some zeros, but it worked extremely well. And this is the live video, which is a screencast of basically what we're doing right now. I'm showing you right now. So the verdict, NetBeans 26 is a robust, mature IDE, great for Java, web, and C++ development. Its session feature set and strong debugging database tooling makes it ideal for both beginners and seasoned developers. The only downside, slightly dated UI and a bit heaviness, as you saw. Oh, I forgot to show you one more thing. Let me actually minimize this as well. If you remember, I showed you that what you can do is, you see like this class, actually not this class, let's find something here. This method, if I just double click here, and you can see it gives me here a little pane with some of the things here. So what I can do is, I can also, where's the one for debugging? Does this not work? on Java. I think, you know what? I'm gonna go to PHP. So let's go to PHP, and there's something here. Yeah, breakpoints. That's what I was looking for. Breakpoints. Maybe it's the icon. So you can create a breakpoint. So when you run this, it actually stops at that line. So you can do that for other languages as well. And yeah, there we go. You see, in Java, it also works. I guess I was putting it on the actual method. I should have put it on the actual something that actually does something return. You see this? It's going to break here. So meaning when this method is being run, it's going to break. That's a breakpoint. That's where it will actually break, and it will stop the program from running. So this is a way for debugging as well. And you see, all this stuff is built in. I didn't have to do anything. Even upgrades were pretty easy. All I do was just install the new version, and it automatically detected that Apache NetBeans 25 was there. So it asked me if you want to import my settings. I said yes, and then that's it. So as you saw, it's a little bit sluggish. Even right now, with all this, it's running now 720 megabytes of the allocated memory. So that's it. So anyways, let's go back. Let's finish up here. So NetBeans has full support for advanced features: SE, EE, Java FX, C, C++, Python, PHP, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, GUI development, debugging, remote builds, database access, build tools, integration, and best practices, session styles, short-term code review, targeted topics, long-term structured curriculum, project focus, develop your own app with guidance. Why pick it? Oh, is this me? Oh, sorry, that's me. Man, I'm a little bit under the weather today. Okay, so I do have one-on-one NetBeans and programming tutorials. I've actually taught a lot of students on NetBeans and Eclipse. So that's why you pick me. If you need help, I can help you out as well. Just contact me via Ojambo Services, or you can obviously shoot an email, or DM me, or leave a comment, or you can go to ojamboservices.com/contact. And with that said, yeah, so hope you like this article. Subscribe for future IDE comparison, coding tips, and updates you want to walk through in NetBeans. Book your one-on-one session today. All right, now I'm going to plug two things. Obviously, I've already plugged ojamboservices.com. I want to let you know that I do have a new book out on, of course, you can get NetBeans at netbeans.org, or go to netbeans.apache.org. I want to plug my new book. It's on Amazon, so I'm going to go to amazon.ca, because for some reason the .com click what in the world? That is weird. And you search for Edward Ojambo. The links are also in the description. So Edward Ojambo, that's my name, and you can see my book here. This is my latest book. It's called The Algorithmic Serpent, and it's about a creator who battles the AI he made, and he's losing his mind. So it's a novelette. I hope you guys like it. And I said I made it as cheap as possible. I was not allowed to go basically lower than this. Yeah, because just a nice story. I had, it's been on my mind. I wanted to get it out. So I didn't want to create a full novel. But if you guys like it, I can create a full novel in the future. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, it's free. Otherwise, it costs about, I think, $2.99 in the US, or $4.99 Canada. Or $4.09 Canada, and then it's $10.95 for the paperback version. And the paperback version, oh, that's the paperback version. So if we go to amazon.com, why is it doing this? That is weird. So we search for Edward Ojambo again, and you see I have, let's go to the book here. And you can see, as I said, it's $2.99 if you're in the States, USD, and there's a paperback version. So, with that said, quick reminder that every day I do have a live stream. Just check it out, and be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. Okay, so that's the end of this tutorial. I am checking the live stream and I don't see any chat requests, so that's fine. Just be sure to subscribe. That helps me out a lot. Like and comment. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Have a nice day.